I'm here with Daniel. Daniel is a co-founder of Photon, a company, which I'll let him describe right now. So give me the TLDR, give me the TikTok. Like people's attention spans are very low. So give me the
All right.
TikTok of what your company does.
So we're basically Twilio for AI agents. We're allowing AI agent to send out messages to people.
Okay, so break down what's going on in the office here, because I'm seeing a bunch of Mac studios, I'm seeing a bunch of hardware, and you were telling me a little bit about how that's currently working in your system. So how is that plugging into what Photon does?
Yeah, for sure. So Photon is kind of the middle layer, connect all the AI agents to regular consumers. Instead of a standalone app, Photon connects like iMessage, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, and all those channels. Basically, imagine plug your agents into the system and people can access your agents through those channels. The reason why we need to have a physical infrastructure, basically a data center, because we need to relay those messages like manually.
Mm.
For example, we need to use the Mac and iPhone system to relay iMessage information. So the agent can actually communicate with people.
When you were like working in the market right now, is there like a very specific target customer? Like, do you have an archetype of like this person's gonna love the product, or are you still trying to figure out which fit where you're fit the best, essentially?
There are actually two groups.
Okay.
Both of them are growing super fast in the past couple of months, especially after open cloud. Because
Yeah.
in open cloud, people realize,
Are they
oh,
using your app within OpenClaw as a middle layer, or no?
so there are two parts. If it's on-device open cloud, it's open source. Everyone is using their own Mac.
Okay.
But for some providers, they have on-cloud service of open cloud. That means you do not need to buy a Mac Mini. You don't have to do all the installation.
Hmm.
You basically purchase a cloud version of open cloud from other providers.
Okay.
If in that case, we're providing clients the access to iMessage and other channels, they're using our service.
Do you guys use the tool internally, or is it kind of like what's like? Give me like the most layman use case of why I would use Photon for messaging.
For sure. Like the most easy to understand use cases are consumer founders.
Okay.
Let's say I'm building, AI assistant that help you to book your tickets, book your restaurant.
Mm,
Um, End consumers do not want to download another app to do it. End consumer want to text an iMessage to the agent. Oh, book me a restaurant, and then the
got it.
agent will understand the response.
Okay,
So
so this is like a text layer essentially where it could be applied to something like reserving a table or anything of that nature, Telegram, everything like that. So my question then is that you find yourself here in San Francisco working on this company. What was the first company or venture you worked on? Or is this the first like stab you're taking at like entrepreneurship and everything like that?
actually not. So when we first started, we were trying to build agents. That was
Okay.
a couple of years ago when the agent does not exist yet. Like people are still talking about language models and stuff. But we think it's fascinating to allow these models to do stuff, like take actions.
Well, before agents, were you doing anything entrepreneurial before agents, or was this like your first stab at like starting a company or being part of a company in that way?
Oh yeah. No, before that I was still a student. I was in college. I
Okay.
was just building random like softwares and
Well,
agents
explain that lore a little bit, because off camera you were telling me that you kind of went to different American institutions around the country. Do you feel like you learned any lessons there that you've been applying now, or was it kind of like I know you said you went to Philly, right, for
yeah.
college? Was there anything you grabbed from Philly that you kind of transferring to now?
For sure. Yeah, because I was study computer science and business back at Penn.
Okay.
That actually gives me some unique angles into how people think about and treat all those new products. Because before Penn, I was, study computer science all the way. I was doing computer science competitions, doing
Mm.
research. So I was very tied into the research, like try to understand the technical part of stuff. So when large language models and agents, all the fun stuff come out, like
When did you graduate?
I did not graduate.
Oh, you dropped out of Penn.
Yes.
Okay, so this is very interesting then. Because a lot of my friends that took comp sci, they say like now they're working at Meta and they find that the education they were getting at school doesn't really apply to like applicable software development. Do you kind of feel the same when you went to Penn a little bit, or?
Um, I think I have like the two perspectives, both from like word and business and pen engineering,
Mm,
allows me to figure out like if I build something, I want people to use it. Like I want to see a use case for that.
got it.
That's why when I keep building software, building new projects, I want people to actually use it. And
When
there's a huge gap.
when you took that step to drop out of college, especially somewhere like Penn, what was the moment? Was there a moment, like, obviously, like, to a lot of people at that age, your parents would be like, "What are you doing?" Like, what made you take the leap of faith to really do that?
Yeah, no, that's actually a very good question. Like I was debating of whether to drop out for quite a long while, of starting from freshman year. I
Mhm.
always want to, move to SF and build companies, but like there's not the right moment. The right moment comes from last November. Like I was building out the open source project. It's called iMessage Kit. Allows
Mm.
you to connect the stuff you build, agents, into iMessage. So what I did is I built a Daniel clone. So I made a clone of myself. I
Okay.
plugged that into my message. So whoever is texting me the whole week is actually talking to my agents. And not a single friend realized that. I was like, that's interesting.
That is hilarious. What model did you use? Do you remember for that?
Yeah, I was just using Cloud for that.
Okay.
It's nothing crazy. I just
Yeah.
did some prompt engineering, but people just didn't realize because that's from my iMessage, right? They
Yeah.
saved Daniel in their contact.
Did you train the model like how you text, or is it just like give it like a generic response?
It's pretty much I give like all the chat history to it,
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
knows how I talk.
Okay.
And I'm not very good at
Does this clone
texting.
still exist?
It still
Did you
exists.
DM me on X with the clone?
Yeah, so people love the experience. I start like I open sourced it.
So this, were you in school at this moment?
Yeah, I was still at school.
Got it. Okay, so was this the moment where you're like, hold up, there's something here, and that's kind of the leap there, or what was from this like experience that made you decide like, okay, I'm dropping out, I'm doing this?
Yeah, so for that I realized something is different. Like something is
Mm.
happening right now. Like people can't even tell agent is texting them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to declare like the AGI is here or whatever, but we are seeing some interesting trends.
Mm.
So I open sourced it and then we start to charge the service to people. Like people start to pay for it. And
Okay.
that's the moment I was like, okay, that's interesting enough. And people are paying for it. I have enough evidence to show my parents that I can leave school and do some stuff.
That's awesome, dude. Then that's where that egg was created. Now it comes to here. I'm curious because obviously how long have you been coding for? Do you remember the age you started, or was it when it went to college?
Pretty much middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like anybody that starts early at a skill is something like software development. I started when I was
Mhm.
like 13. It becomes like playing a creative way, which is good. And that's interesting that you said that moment where you open source, you're making some money. For everyone listening at home, like in college or they're building something, what was the actionable step that went from I'm at Penn State to dropped out, now I'm in SF? Was it like you emailed some people that would be interested in the company, or what was kind of the steps there?
It's basically like I always want to like make something that people actually use.
Mm,
So when I decide to open source it, it's not just because, oh, I want people to build on top of it. Of course, that's part of it.
yeah.
But also like I want to see if there's any value like coming out of from it. So I kind of just take the chance. I joined a program called Z Fellow. And
Okay.
then they brought us to San Francisco and start to build this full time.
So
Really
Z
appreciate for
Fellow,
that.
was that a simply like on you looked online and then you filled out a form and then they're like, yo, this is a dope product essentially?
Kind of like I have a couple friends, and then
Okay.
they connect us with Corey, the founder of Steve Fellow. They
So
were incredible, helpful.
how big is the team here right now? Is you? I know I was your co-founder, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we have about 6 people here, typically on site in SF.
Is the everyone technical, or is it different facets of the team right now?
That's a very good question. Like everyone is technical, but in different perspective. Like our
Mm,
marketing team, they're super technical. They're like GTM engineers. Like
got
our
it.
sales team, well, we don't have a sales team yet, but like people who are doing sales, they're technical. So they use like technical solutions.
Mm.
So everyone is technical, but I think it's very important nowadays to be technical at stuff and figure things out.
Well, I think those usually make the best teams, especially if your verticals in software, because you can understand the product, and then because you understand the product, and because specifically your target demographic is developers,
Hmm.
I almost feel like you have an advantage that way because you kind of know how developers think, which is cool. But what I'm really curious about, because of how much the models have changed since November with like Opus 4.6 and supposedly Mythos, like with all this craziness coming with AI, do you write code manually anymore? Or what is your guys' workflow typically when building out the product?
Yeah, no, we manually read out the infrastructure, like
Mm,
the what's like basically figure out the logic
mm,
with the pen mode.
okay.
And then once it's finished, we can use it. Let's say we now support multiple languages. We finish the TypeScript library, and then takes Cloud Code a couple of days to pen out to all the other libraries. So it's kind
Oh,
of
interesting.
10x of what the human input is, but not just randomly vibe code everything.
When you were at Penn State and you were getting educated on the topics of comp sci, was there integration of AI yet, or was it still kind of like here's the 101 fundamentals of just code?
Yeah, first I'm from UPenn, University of Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and then not Penn State. The one thing that like they're still very traditional. They focus on traditional programming languages. We start with OCaml.
Oh gosh.
So nothing AI, nothing crazy. We have some AI courses, but we're still not allowed to use the generative models to do it. So it's good intros,
Mm.
but need to have some outside exploration to truly understand the space.
And because obviously I feel like you were in a position when you said UPenn, right?
Yeah.
You were in a position where you were there and maybe felt a little ceilinged in the sense of, because obviously I can tell you are creative or you want to build something, right? And that's always like an energy that's super dope in founders. What was the moment? Because you have this open source project that's making some money. What was the moment that was like, okay, was it the money got across a certain line where you're like, this is something I'm actually gonna drop out for, or was there a different moment that made you realize I'm gonna just drop out in that context?
Yeah, I think money is not like the important part. Like it's a couple hundred. It's not
Yeah,
even that much.
yeah, I know.
But
You didn't raise $1,000, like,
yeah. So
yeah.
so that was just like a moment that we realized like people actually need it. So
Mm,
money is a very strong proofment of the things that we're doing.
okay.
Like we are trying to find validations of it. Because I've been building random projects all the time.
Yeah.
Like side projects, hackathons, like I've been to tons of them.
Mm.
But the only thing that we're looking for is like validations, like if people are actually using it, if we're actually being helpful for people building their
Well, in your
projects.
mind though, the mental barrier, because that's a risk, right? And you took a risk of dropping out. Was it just the immense amount of positive feedback you got from the open source project that was like enough to push you over the edge? Or I'm just trying to come from the perspective of if someone else might be at college right now and they're like, yo, I gotta like they're doing maybe in a similar situation, but like almost
Yeah.
separate vertical. Did you have like a serious conversation with your parents, or was it like it probably wasn't as simple as like, yo, I'm just dropping out, or what was the vibe?
To be honest, like to be very transparent, I think as I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the space, I read papers, I look at new projects coming out every day, I get scared. Like I know that if I keep doing and when I graduate, I'm class of 27. If I graduate in 2027, I will be jobless. And then at that point, I will not be in the ideal situation or like the position I want to be.
What's crazy about that is I like 1,000% agree. It's this weird thing where it's almost like tech is moving so fast, and you're literally a great example of this. You could see the tech is moving fast. You could notice this, and it's actually maybe even a higher risk to stay and then try to get a job in 2027 when the whole field is fundamentally transforming. So I definitely that sentiment I've heard from other founders as well. Did you meet other people in your class that was kind of angsty like that when you were at UPenn, or other founders in the area that kind of have a similar story, you think, or no?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the common narratives out there.
Okay.
I did internship as well back in freshman year. I
Mhm.
was, I was exploring what's possible out there. I tried, doing research, doing like finance stuff. But like the more I do it, the more I realize something can be replaced. And the moment when I realized, oh, maybe the industry research that I spent 2 days can be finished by co-work in 2 hours or 1 hour.
Yeah.
Oh no, that doesn't work. I was like, I'm scared. I was talking to my friends. And I think many of my friends doing their internship are facing similar situations.
Dig in on that, man, because that's a real pain point. When I went to Cal, I graduated 21. So AI, like obviously 3.5 comes out 2022.
Yeah.
So y'all are part of the like not generate like you're years under me, but like we're very close together in that sense because when you go to Cal in 2018, there is no AI. Like it's just we're just typing in like or it's like reading Reddit forums, Slack Overflow. That angst, I think, is a feeling that probably a bunch of people across the United States and the world is feeling right now, and specifically for software development. So dig into that. Is it kind of just a simple equation of you see the writing on the wall, it's time to exit maybe traditional education in that way?
It's kind of. I think there are a few signals, especially recently. People are trying to distill the skills from software developers, like the big companies. They're trying to learn how their employee write codes and distill that into a skill. And people were
Which is crazy, but
yeah, which is crazy. Which is I 100% agree.
So where's the entry level jobs? Come on.
Yeah, but here's a paradox. Like if you do not give any entry level jobs, then you cannot find a senior. It's you need to have senior architect for a company. But if you do not hire someone or you do not train someone from the entry level, you're going to have a huge gap in the employee system. Like you need to find the seniors, but you do not want to hire entry level jobs.
It is very interesting you bring that up because the paradigm then is like, okay, we hire no more entry level, but then as the seniors and juniors, like they slowly start aging out, maybe get out of the industry, whatever, like at a certain point, there's gonna be a disconnect where they're trying to solve for it with like skills, like you said, like we don't need entry because of this, but the dynamic is very real because I always said this to my friends and always people I know. I'm like, I am so glad I didn't go to school when AI was there. I sound like an old head. I'm only 26, but I'm so glad AI wasn't there because I already know I would have leaned on it too much. And even especially in coding, I'm glad I learned coding before AI because that's like a big unlock.
Yeah.
But that angst is like so real. And I feel what you're saying in the sense of people are noticing the job market is shrinking, but then which causes this angst of where does software development really go? Which is cool, creates companies like this though, right? Like that angst is everything happens for a reason. So it's almost like it pushed you in this direction to build out Photon. So I would say from this experience, and especially working as a team, is there any lessons that you've learned in the team dynamic? Are you all friends before you guys came to the company, or how did you meet everyone in your team?
Yeah, no, I met my co-founder about 5 years ago. We're in a
perfect
high school hackathon competition.
There you go.
Like we're building projects since then, like building all the side projects, random stuff.
Yeah.
And for other engineers, we also know them from previous projects that we built together. Our GTM engineer, we hired him from our residency program. So we have a hacker house. We're going to we host hacker house every couple months. We invite people all over for free.
I noticed that and you have a program coming up, right?
Yes, we have our residency.
Give the details on that. Someone listening might want to know.
Of course, we will have our residency happening in May, also in San Francisco. So we're going to bring about 10 people, like craziest developers, creators into one house.
Go ahead and make sure you leave the link down below. Also, he told me, don't worry, you're just gonna sleep on the floor. They'll feed you sometimes, like some ramen. Maybe some water, but you'll be good, all right? You're gonna live the real hacker house lifestyle there.
It's a real hacker house.
But so that's dope that you've known your co-founder for so long. I think the one thing that I've always found that's extremely important, especially in business, is trust. So like if you get an argument or he tells you your code looks like shit or you're like whatever, like it's not personal. It's like friend to friend, which has its positives and negatives, but I think that trust is so foundational. So take me through a little bit about before all this, because I know you said you grew up in China, Hong Kong, Singapore. Do you think you learned any lessons that you're kind of carrying from as a kid to now? Or what's the connection between this and like you growing up, you would say?
Yeah, no, I think when I grew up, like the biggest lesson I have is being very honest to myself and being direct, being straightforward. I think in the process of my especially in my childhood, my parents always tell me you need to be honest about yourself. Like if something doesn't work, you need to acknowledge that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you can figure something out, great. If you can't, be honest about it. So I think that's kind of the culture we have here in the company. That you need to be very straightforward about your responsibility and your ability to address the issues. That comes into day-to-day work. That comes to if there's something I cannot figure out, I'm going to tell everyone that I need help on this. That's a huge issue for some of my friends' company where everyone is working, everyone is super talented, everyone is like smart, but it kind of lack of the collaborations or kind of support, like reaching out for support and 100% like that.
It's the thread there is like not necessarily like crazy ego, but if you get a bunch of smart people in a room and everyone thinks they're right, it does cause a big clash. And that's the other thing that I think is important, which is like being humble in a way. And you are more intelligent if you're willing to admit when you're wrong / willing to ask a question, right? Like don't ask a really dumb question, but ask a question that's relevant. But one thing I saw you doing on X that I thought was really cool is the pho and meeting 100 founders. But before you dive into that, on record, what's the best pho place in SF?
Such a good question. Best pho place. I would say Tulan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that located? What neighborhood?
It's Market Street N6.
Got it. Y'all heard it here first?
Super good. Super good.
Is that where you, okay, so then dive into this series you're doing where you're meeting founders, 100. And first off, what even made you think of the idea, I guess?
Yeah, because like I've been seeing like way too many private dinners in
Okay.
SF. Like all
Yeah.
the VCs, all the banks, they're trying to host private dinner for founders.
Say, open it up. Come on, banks. Like, make it public.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I do not want to go to the Michelin restaurant to waste 3 hours of my life. I have work to do.
Yeah.
What about let's do lunch? Let's,
Mm.
just take 30, 40 minutes of your lunch break. Let's meet at a full restaurant.
Okay.
And there's no pressure. Let's just talk. So we basically started the program last month, and then it's been great. I met a lot of cool people.
Have you felt like what have you kind of learned from the founders you met in that context? I think that what's really cool about that, and one thing I've realized too is sometimes like having no schedule and just doing something, not impulsively, but like this whole get up, we just like, it was literally, I did one tweet, bro said like, let's do it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So it's more natural that way. So do you feel like the conversations you have in that environment is better than like being at a Michelin star restaurant and you're like ready for your steak or something?
It's very interesting because the variance is pretty high. So it's like a wide range of people. Because for all the private dinners, like we host private dinner as well. We have
I got no invite.
Next time you will.
Next time. All right.
So we'll have a curated list. Like we'll have like criteria whether we're hiring people, we're trying to get clients, or like we have a purpose in mind, right? Like everyone does it. Like if
Business
I'm
is
like
business.
spending a couple hundreds on a meal, I have some expectation on it. So I will filter people very specifically to that list. But if I'm just treating someone for full, I just like if that's an interesting person, I would love to talk. So it's different mindset walking into the restaurant. So we talk about all kind of different things. Like all the way from like San Francisco to like what's going on in the hometown, and like not really business related, not like all AI related. Which is great.
Oh yeah, it's a breath of fresh air for sure. I think that's part of the reason why my original intention behind this podcast was like, oh, I'm gonna make it structured on a rooftop. But then I was like, you know what? The best conversations come out of like, for example, it's like, oh, I got a conversation a week from now. I keep thinking about it. Nah, just show up. And so that's dope, because walk me through going and putting out yourself like that. I want to meet 100 founders and meeting them in person, having dinner with them or lunch. That is not necessarily that people aren't did you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone in a way? And I think that's so important. So like just kind of dive into that, because I know that was probably uncomfortable to do originally, put out that post, right?
Yeah. That was to be honest, it was a bit tough. I'm introvert.
Yeah.
Like meeting people is just like hard. I guess that's true for many developers.
Oh, I would say that. Yeah, for a lot of people.
Like I really enjoy the time I'm like facing my computer, put my AirPods and coding.
Oh wait,
So-
important question. What music? This is it. Now, what genre? Because I'm either jazz, okay.
Because I used to play saxophone, so I love
Alto
jazz.
saxophone?
Alto.
Okay, I used to play a little alto saxophone as well, but I gave it up. But, okay, never EDM, never like Swedish House Mafia.
Oh my
just
God,
smooth jazz or
Well,
something.
EDM only happens after 2 a.m. So
Okay.
that's like midnight music.
Oh, sweet. No, I love that. For me, it's like EDM, and it's either really hardcore EDM or house, but smooth jazz, that's like I'm cooking something. But I feel that. All right. Do you have like a favorite artist or?
Not really. I'm just putting on random Apple Music playlist.
Oh no, Apple Music. Why are you
knew
using
it.
Spotify?
Every single time. Every single time.
It's a psyop. It's a psyop. He got purchased by Apple. Okay, that's sweet. Okay. But so you had to put yourself, you're making yourself uncomfortable, which I think is important for anyone. And especially, like, I'm not extroverted, I'm not introverted, I'm whatever's in the middle. Like, naturally, I am not an extrovert. I'm maybe more leaning this way, but by iterating and putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, it's almost like, I wonder, by putting yourself like 100 founders dinners, that's what made you kind of comfortable jumping on this podcast, right? Because like talking to strangers, you build that skill over time.
Yeah, that's definitely a big skill that I'm trying to learn. Just getting, like the reason why I'm not comfortable talking to people, like just trying to meet as many people as possible before, is like I am scared because I don't have enough context, right? I think that's the biggest challenge when you like meet a new person. Like
Yeah.
you do not have any context about it. You might have some, like maybe, oh, he's a developer, he's building XYZ company. Like that's the only thing you know. Like
Yeah.
like before the podcast, that's the only thing you know about me.
Facts.
So it's to some extent it's kind of hard. Like you might be scared, like you might not be, but I will be scared if I cannot figure like if there's some commonality or things that we can talk about and
Mm.
then spend time like chatting. So that was hard at
But
beginning.
yeah, you put yourself in the deep zone, which I deeply respect because I mean, for me, you got like from my perspective, he just gave me an Addy. He said, "Show up." I said, "Hold up, where am I? Am I in the office?" Nah, but yeah. So, but I think that's dope because well, I think you touch on something that's big, and I found this in communities in when I was a little bit in Bali, like in when I was in hostel culture, which is this environment where people are open and they're willing to talk to each other, and
Mhm.
it doesn't feel loaded, and that and like your example of the faux restaurants and the 100 founders, I thought that's such a cool concept because inherently it's not loaded like we're going to go to like some VC dinner. It's like, oh, guys, watch out what I say. But you putting yourself out there is just that iteration that I'm speaking to the people at home where this isn't a comfortable thing at first, but then it becomes comfortable.
Mhm.
Where like anyone at home that's listening, you do need to do uncomfortable things in order to achieve whatever your goals are. So I guess like a good question for you is with this company, where do you see it like 2, 3 years from now, would you say?
Yeah, no, like the bigger problem that we're trying to tackle is like the interaction between agent and human, right? We've been
Mm,
talking a lot about human to human interactions,
yeah.
trying to meet new people, understand what they're doing. But agent to human communication, it's getting bigger. There's so many agents out there. There's so many like smart system out there.
Mm,
People need to find a way to interact with them. And that's going to be the huge problem for the next couple of years. Like as the base model capability keep growing, like the agent is going to be much capable 1 year from now, like 6 months, 3 months from now.
basically 2 weeks at this point. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, basically 2 weeks.
yeah.
But like not many people are still using, like the accessible part is still very lacking. Like we're still trying to make more people to utilize those agents.
What I'm curious about is your goal to make the agent and the interaction between the agent and the human feel human to human? Or is it supposed to be at the beginning like, yo, I'm an agent and this is an AI conversation? Or was that not really relevant in this context?
It doesn't matter that much, but we like link a bit to human conversation.
So you're trying to basically make it feel very natural between the different, okay.
Yes, like it's fine if I know I'm talking to an agent, but it needs to
Yeah.
be natural. And
Okay.
then I need to, get the things done.
Yeah. The interesting part, I guess, right now, I'm assuming you're on all major messaging platforms, Telegram, WhatsApp,
Hmm.
uh, SMS, and everything of that nature.
Yes.
And you said you were going to be the Twilio, but AI native, essentially, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then from the platforms you see now and the user base you see now, which platform seems to be like highest demand? Is it like Telegram or what do you see?
It's iMessage.
iMessage.
Yes.
Okay, and dive into that. Why do you think iMessage seems to be the heaviest hit?
Because for consumers,
Mm,
like take, my friends, both in college and people who are like in their, well, let's actually put it this way. So iMessage is like without AI, like before talking about AI and
yeah.
then all those crazy like agentic stuff, people use, especially in the States, use iMessage to communicate with other people.
Mm,
And then I add your number because you're a family or friends. So that kind of create a special feeling, like that
okay.
we're close. And then this is not a spam. This is not a business chat.
Mm,
This is just, friends and family. So by putting agents into that space, that automatically make you closer to the agent. Because oh, it's not a spam. It's not a spam email. It's not in Slack. It's not a business chat.
mm.
It's my friend. So psychologically, that makes it easier for people to get started with
This
it.
is very real, and now that you say it, it makes sense because like when we download these apps, like maybe you're on WhatsApp if you're international, like whatever that situation is, but like when you
Mhm.
download these apps and you become like my mom is on iMessage, therefore this agent's on iMessage, it creates this familiarity with the app itself. And yeah, it's like the psychology where you need when you get I'm not saying you guys are spam calling, but it's the psychology of like, if your area code's 559 and you get a 559 phone number, you're more likely to pick it up.
Yep.
It's almost like for you, when this agent texts, like let's say I'm assuming businesses would create a phone number on your platform, and then the phone number on your platform is used to access customers essentially.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then basically the idea is like company X has company X phone number. I need help with company X. The consumer texts that number.
Exactly.
Okay. And then within the actual text message conversation, I assume you have some type of third-party integrations or abilities where, hey, schedule this appointment, does it automatically? So yeah, talk to me through the integrations, what you can actually do within the chat.
Right. You can actually do a lot. Like we are not building other agents. We're infrastructure providers, right? We're a dev tool. We provide our clients with the capabilities. For example, there's clients who are building AI companion, right? That's very hot sector. People love it.
No pun intended.
Yeah. In iMessage, you can share location with your friends, but now you can share location with an agent.
Interesting.
So the agent will recommend you the restaurant that's good nearby while you are walking around the city.
Yo, wait, dive into this. And this is specifically for the companion
apps? That's a feature that we provide.
Okay.
And then there's a companion company that they're trying to experiment with it. So like we provide the feature to share location. We provide
the integration. Yeah.
And then they figure out the use case.
How they want to do it.
Yeah. And that's a very fascinating one because I think that's breaking the physical like barriers between agent and real human. It can actually get a sense of where you're at and then kind of give you relevant information based on that.
Interesting. So dive into the companion one a little bit. Is the idea that I text Sally, my AI companion, and then Sally remembers. I know you're the infra layer, right? So then if you're the infra layer, do you also handle like the context of memory of the conversation, or are you putting that off to the company?
Oh, they have like their other like memory and context company do those. So we basically provide the log and chat history, and then they will do the RAG, do whatever.
Oh, so perfect. You're probably in a very sweet position then. I like your position's usually the best position because you're more top, and then you kind of feed the data down in a way.
We're very lean. We're like very lean like layer in terms of like the tech stack we're at.
What are the most popular integrations that you currently provide on your platform?
So we only provide the sending and receiving API. Like that's just one line in your code. So what that means is you can literally bring every single interactions and plugins. We work with Zapier's, I have TDT.
Shout out to Zapier. I love Zapier.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt Brown.
But yeah, like all those third party and all third party integration system, you can just make us as part of your workflow, part of your text.
How do you charge? Is it by text or what's your economics for that?
Yes, so we have free plans. We have our pro plan, which is $25 per month. That allows you to add up to 100 contacts to the phone number.
Okay.
And then we also have enterprise plan for bigger companies with couple hundreds.
With the enterprise plan, that's a situation like for the companion app where they kind of just want to scale up.
Yes.
And then you'll just get in like, okay, we'll give you like 50,000 contacts for one number or everything like that.
Yeah, we'll just give you the line, like you own the whole
line.
Yeah, got like whatever the capacity the line provides, you can use it. And then people like purchase multiple lines as they scale.
So then dive a little bit deeper into the code here. So I'm an enterprise client. I have like 10,000 people that want to talk to Sally or whatever their version of Sally is. You said it's one line of code. When you pass this off to a business, are they handling the costs associated with the AI models, API endpoints? They're handling, just dive into that a little bit for me.
Yes. So for now, they're handling everything else besides sending and receiving. So they need to bring their own API, they need to write their own logic, and they need to context memory, like everything they're handling it right now. We're also going to release our templates. Spoiler alert.
Big spoiler.
So that provides the whole templates for other business to get started without handling those.
All the extra stuff.
Yeah, like it's a standard package that you can use.
I'm not sure if you can talk about this, but I guess next steps roadmap for the company. Would you even entertain voice, or is it kind of like we don't want to play in that ballpark?
Voice will be integrated pretty soon.
Pretty soon? Okay.
Because it's super natural. Like we got like all the lines, like we're tracking the logs. Now it's all using for texting, but people keep calling the numbers.
Really?
Especially for the AI companion companies. Yeah. Like they're getting like hundreds of phone calls every single day.
Whoa.
But that feels natural, right? Like if we're texting, like I actually just want to, hop on the phone call and talk.
Wow, there's like a very crazy use case here. As a tech gets better, it's like now you got a phone call, now you got a voice. but now you got to FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how far down the rabbit hole do we go? And then like we get like a Tesla bot in here. It's like, hold on, now we got a person.
It is.
To dive into the AI companion, is that just one company, or are you just noticing that niche is very hot? Like essentially, there seems to be a big pull there.
There are quite a few companies in this space are trying to compete in different, like at different capacity. Like there are people focused more on like habit building. It's also companion, right? But it's habit building. Like it reminds you to go to gym every single day, do check-in, connect to your. I was building a side project just for fun. I connect that to my Whoop. Oh, I don't have it with me right now.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not
Connect to my Whoop and then sync all the health data. And it check every 2 hours. Remind me to drink water, to stand up, to go to gym, to go for a walk, and all this stuff. Like that's also companion, right?
Yeah.
Because when people talk about AI companion, most things people come up with AI girlfriend, AI boyfriend.
I'm thinking of like Rock. Yeah, like I'm thinking of.
I know, but like there's like habit builders, there are like dietitians. There's so many forms of companions.
You make up a really good point here, and I guess that's like a very interesting string for your company that you're probably asking yourself a little bit because you're noticing that. And I didn't even think of that, where it's like you almost have a personal trainer that you text, where it's like, you know, it's 7:30 a.m. Bro, why are you at the gym? And I mean, you can add personality, everything of that nature.
Yeah.
So dive into the templates. The template's kind of like, I run a restaurant, I sell pizza, easy plug and play, or okay, that would be the intention.
Yes.
But I know you said it was code. Do you plan on doing no code, or does no code currently exist?
We'll do code, because with cloud code is basically no code.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the idea of like no code, low code, like
at
does
this
not
point,
exist
it doesn't exist
anymore.
anymore. Yeah, the barrier of entry is so low now, where genuinely just give the docs and then train, like copy and paste your API docs, put it into the bot. It'll probably be able to build out whatever.
Yeah, we also have the skill, so now you don't even need to copy the API doc. You just
Okay.
use the Photon skill.
We're getting too deep in the rabbit hole.
There's one internal test that we run. So for every single release, I'm going to one shot my cloud code. And it need to at least pass 8 times. So our goal is like at least 80% of the time that you can one shot with our SDK.
That is dope. That is interesting. That's the type of stuff, and that's the type of information that is not actually an SF bubble, but it's very much this niche bubble where definitely put content out on that, where it's like a 2-minute, 60-second demo to show people that really it's just boom, skill, your business is done.
Yep.
Right. And that's like a big thing that as we keep growing here. So I'm assuming, are you guys just SDK? Do you have CLI or anything of that nature?
Yes, we'll release our CLI pretty soon. We have our MCP, we have skills. You know, basically we're trying to make it as agent native as possible.
I'm curious. So you say the agent gets a number, and then you're the layer that connects the number. Have you played around with OpenClaw and like giving it a number to like do something yet, or no? Like any experiments like that?
Yes, the number can do tons of stuff. For OpenClaw, since most people are running on the local Mac, that means they're using their own number for it.
Ooh,
so
okay,
we cannot control that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish. So we're basically giving OpenClaw for enterprise, for business, and then they can run like book appointments, connect to their system, their internal ERP.
Yeah. So essentially, in a way, you're just basically giving the agent a phone number, which
is
extremely powerful. Like just the concept of like you can contact an agent that has the context of your company, literally has abilities within your company to do stuff. Like when you connect it via the APIs and integrations, that's pretty interesting. I guess so yeah, I could definitely see why. Is there any issue there when it comes to reliability specifically? Like if you had a really large enterprise client, like is there any bottleneck there, or is everything kind of built out where it's fine?
Yes. So here's the thing. I guess it would be easier if I use agentic browser as an example in this situation, right? Browser and web page are not designed for agents, right? They're also like, are you a robot? Or like, please get the verification code from your phone. Those are designed very like not like they're not super friendly to agents.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my friends at all those like browser agentic companies, and they're facing that issue because browser is not natively designed for it. So similar for the messaging infrastructure. This is not designed for agent and human interaction. It's designed for P2P, like human to human. So there are some bottlenecks in terms of reliabilities and figure out what is the best practice, what is the protocol. We're trying to define it because no one has defined that before.
No one has defined it. Okay, so then dive into that a little bit deeper. Is it what specifically is it, like a TOS thing? Like what specifically is the bottleneck in that context?
TOS, it's kind of in the gray area because people do not fully understand. It's not fully regulated. It's like using agentic browser to use to scraping the website using
Yeah.
AI. You know, they have lm.txt, they have robots.txt. It's very similar in that space, right?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not fully regulated. People are still trying to figure out what is the best practice.
Yeah, because like pre-AI, like if you went to scrape a website, like
Yeah.
basically every website would be like, yo, stop taking my data.
Exactly.
But now that we're going to these next layers here where it's like, hold up, but like we're gonna have an AI native internet in a way where it's an internet maybe we don't get access, but the agents kind of talk through it. It is a situation where we're in a transitionary period. So it's a very similar transitionary period of the texting and all the infra associated with that essentially.
Yeah, no, that's true. And for texting, the downside is spam. Like people do
Yeah.
not like spam,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like I do not want 10 agents to text me like random stuff,
Yeah.
right? So like in order to prevent that, we mostly let people to text the agent first. It's kind of the opt-in system.
Okay.
Like, well, that's kind of the protocol we defined. Like no
Yeah.
one said like you have to text agent start to get started.
Yeah.
But like we're trying to figure out what is the best practice. And this is one of them.
I'm interested because I'm familiar with residential proxies, IPs, and like when you like keep hitting something, do these numbers, are you noticing some data around where if a number's too active, something gets flagged? Or is there like an issue there as well? Kind of, or not
Response rate matters more.
Okay.
So if you keep sending me messages and I'm not responding, then you'll get flagged.
Got it.
But if
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just keep texting,
in the early days, was there a moment where like the AI kind of tweaked out and just kept texting like, yo, what's up, or no?
yes, it's a funny story. There's one day we sent out about 5,000 texts to the same person with the same message.
Wait, 5,000 texts, was it different messages or just the same
message? That somehow goes into an infinite loop that we did not realize.
Gosh.
That was very early.
Wait, who is was it your number or was it like a customer or something?
It's a real customer number.
Okay, no, that's real stuff that happens in software though.
Yeah. It's tough.
That is hilarious. I mean, I had an issue when I was setting up like an email newsletter campaign through Mailgun's API, and I was like, I'm learning how to do a newsletter because I don't want to pay premium or something like that. And then I remember I accidentally like spammed someone like 100 emails. So it's the same thing. Like sometimes you run the code and then it just goes haywire. 5,000 texts.
Yeah, no, that's tough. That's tough. The whole line get banned, the account get banned.
Yeah. No, I feel that. That is hilarious. Okay, so then operation, I'm curious because every company approaches labor differently. So at your company here, is it Jira tickets, Slack channel? I remember I was talking to one founder and they were doing some crazy thing where they don't even like, we'll see what the business does, but they were doing something where like they were literally doing all their coding through the Slack channel, which is kind of crazy. And that's crazy to me. I'm like, that's a little too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, walk me through the workflow.
So yeah, since we're infrastructure, we still have to write manually about like many code bases.
Yeah.
So we use Linear, Slack, not them sponsor the podcast, by the way. Next time.
They're not sponsored yet. Come on, hurry up.
Linear, Slack, and GitHub CI/CD.
Okay.
That's the workflow.
And when you're standardizing the labor process, do you sprints like 2-week sprints, or do you guys have like a different way of approaching like, hey, we want to get XYZ feature done? Like how do you approach, for example, like the voice feature when you're in a team?
Yeah, we have the timeline. We have the priority list. Like we have like tons of feature requests. We still have to prioritize what matters the most, and then we need to allocate engineering time accordingly.
So I'm curious because one thing I've learned building software is sometimes you get ideas from customers that you never even thought of. Like they went down some rabbit hole where it's like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Have you got any feedback from customers that you're like, well, this actually is kind of cool?
Yeah, no. Definitely, we got tons of interesting ideas.
An AI companion space.
Yeah, no. People want to do payments as well in messages. So maybe sending Apple Cash.
Interesting. To the agents.
To the agents.
Ooh.
Or the agents and Apple Cash to you.
How does that work? Is it a little bit restrictive when it gets into the financial stuff? Or?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, okay. We haven't done the R&D.
It's just a random request from our customer, but I think that's super interesting because they actually break the stereotype like, oh, conversations are only for conversations. You can only use WhatsApp, Slack for exchanging text or images. But now you can actually close the full loop, right? You can use subscription, you can get contact, do the stuff. So in the future, we're imagine the world where 20-30% of apps does not exist. They're just conversations.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I think the financial layer there of the integrating of the payment is extremely interesting because it does really, these models are getting super good. And they're getting to the point now where it's even probably better than maybe in some contexts to do the model than hiring a person for very like specific niche verticals. But what's interesting about that is that you could close a loop on a conversion event in a way.
Yes.
And that's high value for a company. Like if you can give them money or a sale, like that's extremely high value. Is there any like roadmap for when that's coming out, or is it kind of like we're just seeing we can even run this?
Not yet. We put it in our bucket list,
Okay.
but we haven't put that on our roadmap yet. But this is big because that kind of closed the loop. When we talk to other enterprise customers, they are always saying, "Oh, we want to drive the customer to our app." They're still app centric because app is where they actually make the subscription and stay on the app. They care about the app retention. They care about the app customer acquisition cost. But once we have the payment abilities in the conversation, they don't care about it anymore. If you can close a loop right in iMessage, per se, you don't want them to leave your iMessage channel.
Are you thinking something along the lines of like, I have Expedia, burn Expedia, let's just text in the app, and then all the conversion event happens in the app. There's no point for Expedia app, like maybe in some context, but that's kind of the idea.
Exactly.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, you can just, if I'm looking for hotels, just send me 10 pictures.
Yeah, within the actual chat. And what's really interesting about that is it makes it so the consumer, I got to use Claude, I got to use Gemini, they don't care. Just give me the number. And that's cool because I think a lot of the issues now is, people are fragmented on, what model to use. And, it's like an education curve that half the people don't care about. Just give me the best one. But what's interesting about that concept is that you would have, so that the number itself would essentially, you don't even care about the model. What's driving it, it's just the conversion event.
Yeah, what's even better is that we have the group chat functionality.
Okay, explain that.
I can basically, let's say we have the Expedia agent. I can bring my Expedia agent and my personal agent into a group chat.
Wow.
So my personal agent will talk to Expedia agent under my supervision to book a hotel for me.
That is really cool because that is like, you can keep the current like employees that are really lasered in, they're educated in the industry, but you can really offload more labor to them because in theory, they're just in the group chat, kind of watching it over, and then maybe at the end point or at any moment they need to intervene, they intervene.
Exactly. That's like there are two situations. One is like A to A, agent to agent, where there's no human intervention needed. That might be true for many cases, but in some situation, people need to like understand and observe the A to A process. So that's what we call A to A to P. I don't know if that exists. That's what,
and this is why this is SF. They be creating terms out here.
Yeah, that's what we call
A to A to P. I've heard that before.
We create the term because we think the A to A eventually need to have human in the loop and kind of close the loop and make sure what's going on. It's making sense.
All right, so then big picture, 10 years from now, because it seems like you're thinking just through the iMessage or Telegram, whatever, like it's almost like the messaging app could really encompass 30% of a lot of these other apps. What are you envisioning as in that future, like the biggest use case, I would say? Or do you think it's like an everyday thing where it's like I have my trainer, I have my whatever?
So it's definitely not a workspace. It's not productivity. It is everyday stuff.
Okay.
It's like, travel, restaurant, food, fitness, like everyday stuff that we do with friends, hang out with families. So everything non-work related I will categorize.
Okay. So then it's almost as if like right now you can build a software, you have a CLI layer, then OpenClaw can plug in. Your equivalent could be like, you could still use the Instacart app, but then Instacart would build a layer that is the SMS version of Instacart in a way.
Yes.
And then, so it's like, then you have the discretion of whether or not, it's almost like you could do that with Uber too. That is actually, I see the direction now in the sense of if the data is being passed, in theory, what you could do on Uber, you could do on your SMS if everything's connected, right? So then the unique identifier is the user-specific phone number, right? So I guess the only bottleneck there would be if you lose your phone number, but at that point, it's just like transferring.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very futuristic vision.
Yeah. And we're going to be completely right or wrong. We'll see in 10 years. We'll
Yeah.
see in 10 years. Quote it. But all right. Yeah. I think want to go ahead and let the people know like where they can go check out this. Is there any promo codes? Want to explain the Hacker House again in that whole situation?
Of course. So photon.co is our website. Feel free to go up there. We have our residency program again, May in San Francisco. No cost to you. We'll just bring you here with all the talented people to do developments and creations. So yeah, no, come check it out. We're also hiring all the time. So just DM me if you want to check out.
Check out Bryson on X. Check out the company on X. If you literally want to sleep on the floor, nah, I'm joking. Check out the Hacker House. It should be fun. But yeah, that's the log. Great
Thanks so
conversation,
much.
Bryson. That's dope.